everybody. You're watching Senior Business presented by the Vegas Voice. I'm Dan Roberts, the publisher and editor of the magazine, and it's our goal to introduce you to all the great businesses that cater to our market, the senior industry. Our guest today is a perfect example of that, as I'm joined by Laura Harbison of Realty Executives. Laura, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me today.
Yeah. You know what? Let's start with exactly what you do, how you go about doing it. Tell us about Realty Executives and your business.
Okay. Well, I've been in business for 32 years, and obviously, real estate brokerage. Most of what we do is residential real estate. We do some commercial, we do some land, but primarily we focus on the senior communities and providing services to them.
And, you know, the 32 years, so you started when you were about 4 or 5 years old, obviously.
6.5.
Okay. And was it always in Southern Nevada, in this area, or were you around the country? Where'd you start at?
Yeah, always here in Southern Nevada. So December of 1986 is when I got into the real estate market. My office was in Las Vegas at that time. Now it's in Henderson.
Right.
And I was with a previous company for about 11 years, and then I've been with Realty Executives. I'm actually the broker-owner of Realty Executives, Southern Nevada Properties. And so, that's been since 1997.
And, I mean, you must have witnessed the whole change of Las Vegas, because back in '86, it was just, a couple of roads and a couple of dirt fields? And
I could get anywhere in 15 minutes.
You probably could, right?
Pretty much.
Aren't you amazed how the market and how the world in Las Vegas has just completely changed?
It has. It has. And our senior market has grown remarkably, with all the senior communities that are all over. We're building new ones now. So, yeah. And
in all those years, which again you started when you were 4 or 5, I guess, how many homes have you sold? Have you ever figured out how many homes you've been involved with?
I have closed just shy of 7,000 transactions so far.
That's incredible.
Yeah, about 2,500 of those have been in senior communities, and of course that increases every year because that's been our focus since about late 90s is when we decided that was going to be our focus. You know,
and the world must have changed also in the senior communities because I guess more people are flocking here, like myself and people at the Vegas Voice, to retire. It's a whole different world, let's say from California or New York or from Illinois.
Mm-hmm. We get people from all over and even from other countries.
Other countries?
Absolutely.
And has the world changed for you in terms of being a real estate broker or an agent, whatever the correct term is, because of people from foreign countries having to come in or just adjusting? I know for me, when I moved from New York out here, it was sticker shock. Do you have that with people? And how do you deal with it?
Well, it depends on where they're coming from. To some people our market seems very affordable. To some people they are shocked at the prices because it just depends. If you're from the Midwest, you're probably used to a much, a lot more land for a lot less money.
I guess, but if you're from California, especially from New York, I look at what you have and what's available, and I'm saying, is that all? How do you deal with the individual personalities? I mean, that's got to be a major thing because it's a major move for the people themselves.
Right. Well, everyone has different needs. So, for starters, we just have to assess, what they do need. What services they need, how much attention. I mean, we stay open 7 days a week. We answer the phone day and night. And we do that because we know our senior clients don't want to talk to a machine and press 1 for this and press 2 for that. We cover a lot of different media. We love our advertisements in the Vegas Voice, of course.
Thank you.
We do our print ads. We do, I'm on a television show. I've got, all kinds of social media going. We're doing videos. We're doing the 3D virtual tours, all types of things. So no matter how they want to get their information, we can get it to them. But the seniors tend to have additional needs too, especially if they're transitioning from out of state. So we can handle just about any referral. We're also licensed property managers. So if they pick a house and it needs some things done to it before they move in and they're coming from out of state, we're here to help manage that process. Same if they're going in the other direction, and let's say they're going to be with family and they can't really handle all the details of the move. We're on site to basically handle anything that they need and help with those extra needs that they may have.
And and again, you said you started in '86 or so.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever heard of virtual reality.
None of that existed.
All this stuff. How do you keep up with the changing times? I mean, that has to be just constantly.
Education is key. When I started in 1986, we had a 1-page contract. There was no such thing as an MLS computer. We got a book every week from the multiple listing that had all the different listings. So we would do our little one pager and we would turn in our information to the Association of Realtors and we would get it back that way. I've always tried to stay ahead of the curve. So when the MLS computer was created, I was one of the first people to, dive right in with that.
Right.
They didn't have screens yet, so you had to memorize all the codes. So it was like a typewriter. Yeah, it was amazing. And then, of course, over time, and we evolved from basically having none of that, and so it was magazine ads and a sign, and maybe a flyer, to today's technology where we have all the different social media, all the different interactive programs, the QR codes, and now you can literally go on your computer screen and do a walkthrough of the property. And we do that for all of our properties. There's very few people in this market that are doing that yet.
Right.
With the 3D, because it's, obviously it's expensive, but I think it's necessary in today's changing world, and also extremely nice for people who are coming from out of state because they can literally do when you talk about a virtual tour, you usually think of, a picture slideshow. This isn't that. This is, you press the little arrows and it takes you through the room to the house. So you can really get a feel for the floor plan, etc. So it's come a long way.
And is it different when you try and help someone who is a millennial compared to a senior? Because what do you do focusing just on our people, our ages, 50 and over, and they're coming in from, let's say, California or from New York, if you're using that. How do you do it differently? Or what do you do? How do you go about doing it?
Well, the communication is different. The millennials tend to just want to text. They don't want to talk to anyone. They're out, getting their own information and all. In the senior communities, typically we're putting together more of a package, where, again, I'm talking with them, I'm assessing what their needs are. I have that open communication. They can call me. They don't have to talk to a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they can text me, and I've had plenty of people in their 90s who preferred to text
Really?
me.
Oh my God, okay. I just can't imagine it.
So, but whatever mode of communication is comfortable for them. A lot of people want to talk. Some people don't have email. Those types of things.
Yeah.
So, I may be having to print all the materials for them and get them to them, those types of things. So it just depends. It's very unique person to person. I've got a nice lady moving here to Solera from Alabama. She's going to be here next week. I've been working with her for months. I've done everything from coordinate having the house cleaned for her, going and checking on repairs, things like that. She does like to talk on the phone, and so we talk a lot.
Right.
And, she does also use email and all, but, just that personal touch and actually having a relationship is more important to the senior community than to the millennials.
Yeah. But I also know that you have different guides and booklets that you give to people. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about that, because I think that's remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Well, the laws are different when you move from state to state.
Right.
So, or even if you've lived in Nevada for a long time, if you haven't bought or sold a house in a long time, you may not remember the process, or the process may be so different now than it was 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago. So I have guides for both buyers and sellers which take them through the process. It explains step by step what's going to happen, what they can expect, what the title/escrow company does. If they're from back east, they may be used to using attorneys.
Yes.
And all. We're an escrow state. We don't use real estate attorneys. And that can be a little shocking to some people.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So understanding that process and the difference in the laws and the time frames and just giving them that step by step, regardless of which, if they're on the seller side or on the buyer side of the transaction. So when I show up to meet with someone for the first time who wants to sell their house, I'm coming in with a huge packet of information, in a book form, typically about 100 to 150 pages. And people they're like, oh, I get to keep that? And yes, this is your step-by-step information about your house, about the market, and then what you can expect through the process, the marketing, etc. And then I even give them a list of vendors, that can be helpful, people that we've used, or, that I've come in contact with over the last 30 years that have done a good job. So I give them everything up front, utility list, you name it, but all the different things that they're going to need.
So let me ask you this, the best part about the job. The best part.
It'll sound a little cliche, but it is absolutely people. I get to meet so many interesting people who have had amazing life experiences that come from every different background you can imagine. And, people ask me, well, why are your appointments so long? Well, I actually want to hear about that. You know, I mean, I'm happy to share anything about myself that they want to know, and I want to hear. You know, I've learned so much, you know, from each individual client, and I wanted to develop a lasting relationship with them. I'm not there to just, okay, boom, your transaction's over. Okay, see ya. Have a nice day. You know, I stay in touch with these people. I have thousands of people in my database, and I will go to the grocery store or go anywhere. You know, I live close to the senior communities, and also I'm in and out. I'm seeing people all the time, and I had a lady come up to me in the grocery store the other day, and in the center of Sun City Anthem, and say, "Oh, you helped me sell my house in 1997." I'm like, "Why, yes, I did." And so it's just great.
And we're getting close to 7,000 transactions.
Yes, sir.
You still get a kick out of it? You still enjoy it?
Still, yeah. My husband asked me, "Well, when are you going to retire?" And I'm like, probably not. It's like, I don't see that happening. Yeah.
Well, in the few minutes you have left, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they go about doing it?
Well, they can. I have a very easy phone number. It's 702-777-1234. So figure lucky sevens for Las Vegas, and then of course 1234. Pretty easy to remember.
Pretty easy,
My website is www.lauraharbisonrealestate.com, and on there they can do everything from search for a home. It has my videos, clips from my television show, the home videos, things like that. So fun stuff they can look at. And of course they can email me, laura@harbisonrealestate.com.
Okay.
So I'll answer no matter how someone tries to contact me.
So if they contact you by phone, it's not press 1, press 2, press 5.
Live human.
Can't argue with that.
7 days a week, even holidays.
There you go. That's the best part about it. Laura, thank you so much. I really appreciate you helping me out and coming here and figuring this out. And I'm Dan Roberts, and I thank you for watching. And if you need more information about Laura or the Vegas Voice, by all means, give us a call, 702-251-4441. And like Laura, no machines, you'll get a live person. Anyway, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.